A lot of us learn coping mechanisms growing up. And what I mean by that is a lot of us learned how to fake it. We might have seen mom or dad or some leader in our life or whatever that was defeated, but they used to put on a fake smile, and we learned how to do it too. We just kind of watch people. So then it's almost like we could come into a belief system that we don't even believe that you can really be happy or that you can really have joy, because all we've seen is fake joy. We've seen people with fake smiles. They're really hurting, but they're smiling to everybody and going, yeah, everything's good. And it's a coping mechanism that we need to tear down. We need to make things right so that the smile can be genuine. We need to deal with the trauma, deal with the wrong mindsets, and deal with the things that have been holding us back so that we can be authentic when we smile and we say, I'm good. Who wants to smile and say, I'm good, and really mean it? Raise your hand if you've seen it when you was growing up, if you heard people say, yeah, I'm good, but they really wasn't good. We done seen some coping mechanisms, haven't we? We done seen some people fake it to make it for sure. But we're looking for authenticity this year here at Headed Straight Up. We want to see people overcome and have real joy, real peace, come up, really have an outstanding mindset and an outstanding confidence that's real and not be having to fake it. How good will it feel when you can walk out every day out of your house with a real genuine smile on your face because you dealt with the things that were holding you down? And I'm telling you, it is a blessing. And the Bible talks about from glory to glory. So you might not be there yet, but guess what? You're better off than you were yesterday. You know why? Because you're here. And it takes a real person to be here. It does. If you were super fake, you would have already walked out. You would have. If you had no ambition left for yourself, you would have left already. So that means there's hope. Because the truth is like a sword. And when I start talking about truth stuff, it'll cut you. It'll start cutting up the crap. So if you didn't have life left in you, you wouldn't be here. So there's hope. There's hope and there's promise for good things in the future as long as you just keep tapping in. You got to work on your thinking and you got to be diligent about it. When things come up in your mind from your past, things that might not have been good, that's why you got to find out about truth. You got to find out the right way to think so that you can fight the wrong way to think. When negative things come up in your mind, don't run from it. Think about it and deal with it right there on the spot. The Bible talks about casting down imaginations and making every thought obedient to Christ. And I thought about it. I know y'all ain't got time like I had when I was in solitary confinement doing this stuff. But I had a lot of time to think. And one of the ways that I overcame was when I had memories come up in my mind of ways that I had handled things in the past that I didn't feel good about. I would use my imagination to imagine myself doing the right thing in that scenario instead of the wrong thing. So that's how I use my imagination to overcome positively. So let's say maybe I had a memory of taking advantage of some girl, getting her to go make money for me, do something bad. So I would imagine telling that girl about God and telling her that I need to do the right thing and walking away from that situation on a positive note instead of doing the wrong thing. But I would cast down those imaginations, those bad thoughts, and I would replace them with positivity. So you don't got that much time to sit around and do that, but when you do think of negative stuff, even if it's a memory, because how many of you guys know that we get dragged down by patterns in our life? The enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy. So when you got things starting to go good in your life, you know what the devil will do? Bring up memories of when you wasn't doing right to try to get you off track. When you have negative stuff come up in your mind, battle it with truth. Battle it with good. When you have a memory or when you had stinking thinking, think to yourself, what would have been the right thinking? What would have been the right way to handle that situation? And that's how you bring that thought all the way to the light. And then you can dismiss it. Once you handle it properly, you take it all the way to the light. Well, that ain't right, what I was just thinking. What can I do about that? Well, what would be the right way I should have handled that situation? And if you don't know, seek it out. Pray about it. Ask somebody that's maybe a mentor to you. Come ask me. Ask somebody that's into this stuff. You know? Maybe write it down on a piece of paper and ask me when you're getting paid one day. Hey man, I had a thought come up. What way would you think about this? And you know how I'm going to answer it? I'm going to answer it to you right out of this book right here. I'm going to tell you what this says about it, because that's what's worked in my life. Literally, I'm not even joking. All those thoughts that I was casting down when I was in jail and prison, I found the answers right here. I looked at this book and found out I was all the way wrong. I'm going to tell you right now, I looked at this book right here and found out I was all the way wrong. All you got to do is go through the book of Proverbs. You'll get the key. You'll realize, man, I'm wrong. This stuff's telling me right and I don't do right. And so there becomes the change. But you got to find a source of truth. You got to tap in and you got to take it serious. You got to do something about your thinking. You got to be diligent about it. You need some dedication, some motivation, some drive, some ambition. You need vision. We talked about that in recent meetings. You need a good vision of what the powerful good you looks like. You can put yourself together. You can literally figure out how you're going to look, the way you're going to operate, how you're going to respond to things differently in 2024 than you did in 2023. And you could come up with a good vision for yourself. Picture yourself right now walking into meetings sharper on Friday than you did today. Got you. Doing things the right way, taking it serious. And listen, I have meetings, whole meetings about being uncomfortable. When you don't feel normal doing stuff that's new, get used to it. Think about it. If it feels uncomfortable to do something new and you're trying to do everything new in 2024, what's that mean? That there's going to be a lot of uncomfortability, and that's okay because you're stretching yourself. You're feeling what it feels like to level up, and you're getting more used to it as you go along. That's why it's easier for me to make changes now than it used to be. I can just decide something. I heard Alex talking about it the other day in the chat. How he could just decide something, he's going to do it because he's been practicing it, doing what he says he's going to do. So when you get into a pattern of doing what you say you're going to do, then you know you're going to do it when you say you're going to do something. Do you know that half the people in the room might not even trust yourself? I mean, you would probably not know that or admit it, but believe me, that people don't even believe themselves. Because you say you're going to do something so many times and you don't keep your word to yourself. You don't believe yourself, but you don't know that because you have false pride. So you don't know that because you don't want to admit it because change is uncomfortable. But I'm telling you that if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to be very confident. If you do trust yourself, you're going to be more confident. So you got to build trust in yourself. So one of the ways you're going to build trust in yourself is by doing the things that you say you're going to do.